And also, do you have a cardboard box that you've turned into a Safety Chief car? Well, we'd like you to ride with us. Please put your hat on. Right back there. And then, before you start riding in your car, please make sure you fasten your safety belt, lock your doors, just as you do in real cars, and then turn on your siren as we say, Mr. Music, please. Now let's park our cars. And, oh, keep your hats on because that means you're a real safety chief. All right. And now let's come over, and I hope you remember that message we're supposed to tell everyone. What does Safety Chief want us to remind everyone about, Jason?
Don't go barefoot outside.
All right. Well, these kids just said, well, why can't we go barefoot outside, Geraldine?
You'll get glass in your foot.
All right, or you could get hurt by something else. What else, Tina? You could step on what else outside?
A nail.
A nail, or what else? Michael?
And the car might go with us.
All right, well, something might roll over your foot. That's for sure. What else, Jason?
A staple.
All right, staple. There's so many things outside. What else, Geraldine?
Rock.
Rocks, so many things. So what are we going to remember? When we're outside, always wear our shoes. Well, let's wave goodbye to all these kids.
Bye.
Time for us to get on our way back to Romper Room. Excuse me. Right there, Jason. Please get into that car, but don't forget to fasten your safety belts, lock your doors, and then turn on your siren. Woo! Let's park our cars. Do you know, today we have a special scientist visiting us in Romper Room. He's going to talk to us about soil. And in just a minute, we're going to play a guessing game about animals that love soil. Can you think of some? Well, maybe you'll guess them right after this.
Romper Room will be back after these messages.
See this little snack tooth munching away on good snacks? I'll change that. A bottle of sweet pop.
No, thanks.
Some candy. If this kid keeps refusing my sweets, he'll grow up to be a healthy tooth with fewer cavities. Cake? Cookies?
Mister, want a carrot?
A carrot! Get that thing away from me.
Kick the sweet snack habit. Eat good snacks.
Now, Buffy, remember what I told you about riding in the car? It's very important. Buckle up your seatbelt when you ride in a car. 'Cause if it's ever gonna stop quick, your seatbelt won't let you go far. Don't forget, always wear your seatbelt.
I'm an animal that loves the soil. Well, I live in the soil. That's where I have my home. But I also get my exercise in the soil by climbing around and burrowing around. Now, I'm long and skinny, and I eat things that I find in the soil, like little bits of leaves and pieces of twigs. Oh, but I don't need to eat a lot because I'm a rather small animal. My name begins with W, just like Wiggly Wills, but I'm not a caterpillar. I am a...
Worm.
Exactly! Did you say worm at your house? Let's look at this picture of a big worm right here. Well, most worms that we might see in our soil aren't quite that long. But worms love the soil. Oh, let's see who else likes the soil. Oh, here's an animal that likes to build a hill out of soil. Well, he doesn't build it all by himself. He has a whole group, a whole colony of animals. And they build many, many different rooms inside of this hill. This animal has 6 legs, and it's usually very dark brown or black. And the name begins with A. What am I?
Elephant. Elephant.
Does elephant begin with A? Or does an elephant live underground? No, but what lives underground?
Ant.
An ant. And ants like to build hills. An ant is a very small but very busy insect. And here's a picture of an ant.
That's a spider.
We have a spider up above. But the ant is the animal that uses all those little tiny bits of soil to build the ant hill. Well, let's try another animal that loves the soil. This animal loves soil because it helps him build dams and lodges. And he uses his tail to get the soil wet and then to pack it on his dam and his lodge. Now, he has a big, broad, flat tail, and his name begins with B. What am I?
A beaver.
Very good. Here's a picture of that beaver. Now, soil, in particular wet soil, cold mud, is very important for this animal. Let me turn into another animal. Oh. This is an animal that we're going to visit tomorrow in our magic window. Normally, this animal collects something and stores it in a tree. But sometimes when he can't find trees, especially after a forest fire, if all the trees are burned down, do you know where he would store his nuts for the winter? He would dig down in the soil and he would keep his nuts there. And then, as he needed the nuts, he would dig them up. Now, the name of this animal begins with S. He's a big bushy tail and he loves to climb trees. Do you know which animal it is?
A squirrel.
Good. Did you know that squirrels sometimes hide their nuts in the soil? They can dig down. They use their front paws as little shovels. Shall we try one more animal?
Yeah.
You're doing very well this morning. Let's see. This time, I'm an animal whose name begins with P. I make a barking sound, which is why part of my name is dog, but I'm not a dog. I have my house underground. I'm what's called a burrowing animal, and I use my front paws to dig, and I make a very, very intricate house underground with long tunnels and little rooms off the tunnels. Now, I might remind you a little bit of a squirrel, but unlike the squirrel, I do like to live underground. Does a parrot live underground? Where does a parrot live?
Spider.
Where does a parrot live? Who can tell me about a parrot? What kind of animal? What family? What does a parrot have all over his body?
Feathers.
Feathers. All right. What animal family has feathers?
Birds.
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 And where do birds usually live?
In the nest.
In nests in trees. All right, but remember, I'm an animal whose name begins with P, and I live underground. I'm a special kind of animal who has dog as part of my name. What am I, Jason?
A prairie dog.
Exactly. Here's a picture of a prairie dog sitting up. Tina, can you move back just a little, and then you'll be able to see the book? And usually, at the entrance to a prairie dog village, one prairie dog's always on duty. He's the guard. And if there's any danger, he starts whistling to all the other prairie dogs. And then they all go underground where they remain safe and secure. Well, there are so many animals for whom soil is so important. But did you ever think that soil was really important for you? Well, we don't eat soil, do we?
No.
We don't really play in soil, do we?
No.
Can you think why soil is important for you?
No.
Well, a little bit later.
It's poison.
Well, it certainly could have things that might be poisonous. We know we shouldn't eat soil, but there are many ways that soil is important for us, and we're going to find that out a little bit later today. But right now we're going to look at something that's very important for all of us to know, right? For all of us to recognize and to obey. It's a special sign that we see outside, and we'd like you to help look at it with us. Now, the sign's right over there. Do you see it?
No.
You don't see it? Well, maybe it's just a little bit too high. Perhaps if we pull it down. All right, let's try pulling it down. Right up there on top of that wall. All right, oh, but we have to stand very close together so all of our energy is harnessed. Tina, can you come over here? And Michael, can you come right over here, please? All right, good. Now let's stand very close together. Let's all reach right up here together. Good. All right, now reach and pull. Oh, you have to get up on your toes. Can you help us at your house? There it is. What did we just pull down? Do you know which sign that is?
Stop sign.
How did you know that was a stop sign? Well, perhaps you read the word on it. Let's spell the word. S-T-O-P.
Stop.
Stop. What should cars do when they see this sign?
Stop.
What should bicycle riders do when they see this sign?
Stop.
What should people who are pedestrians walking do when they see this sign?
Stop.
Right, then what do people do after they've stopped?
Go.
Oh, what do they do before they go?
Look both ways.
Look all directions, whether you're in a car or on a bicycle or walking. It's very important. Well, maybe you can draw a picture of this stop sign and send it in. We'd love to see it. But now let's push the stop sign up. Come on, let's crawl under and push it. Oh, come on. There it is, all the way up. And then, would you continue standing, and would you please get a small book or a paper plate or a basket to put on your head? We'd like you to walk with us this morning. I'm going to pass out a basket to each of our friends here. As soon as you get the basket, would you go find a little area that you can practice in, away from everyone else. Whoops, excuse me, Tina. All right, come on, let's spread out all over Romper Room. Place that basket up. Well, first of all, have good posture. That means your shoulders should be back. Stand up straight and tall. All right, Tina, hold your head up tall. Good. Now, don't look down. If you look down, what's going to happen? You're going to have to tilt your head up just a little, Tina. All right. Place the basket up. Bring your arms. Well, you might want to try it upside down to begin with. It's still not that easy, is it, Michael? All right, take a couple steps. See if you can walk with it that way. Let me see if I can help you. Hold that head straight, Jason. Look up just a little bit, Jason. Can you look up at me? Good. Now arms straight down at your side and keep looking up at me. Keep looking at me. Keep looking at me. Very good. All right, how are you doing, Geraldine? Well, you have a ribbon in your hair, so we have to be a little careful. We might want to tilt your head up a little higher than usual. All right, Christina, let's see if you can turn it the other way now. Oh, very good. Now be careful. Tina, you need to tilt your head up even higher to keep that basket up. All right, and before you start walking, hold your head still. Look straight ahead. Arms down at your side. Now take small steps. All right, oh, very good, very good, very good. Oh, watch where you're walking, but don't look down. Remember, in the beginning, make sure that basket is balanced, and then start walking. hands down at your side. Hold that basket up there with your head. Don't look down. All right, keep that head just like it is. Oh, look straight ahead. Very good, Christina. How are you doing, Geraldine? All right, I think you need to wear the basket a little more forward because of your bow. Just tilt it just as slight. Good. Very good. Very, very good. We're going to put our baskets away. We're going to get ready to visit our scientist who's visiting Romper Room this morning, and that's coming up next.
Romper Room will be back after these messages.
Zoological parks have been around for over 2,000 years. They delighted generations of visitors by exhibiting wildlife in cages. A generation ago, the concept of what a zoo should be began to change. Bars and wire gave way to open, natural-looking settings. At the Bronx Zoo's World of Darkness, night creatures forage for food in a habitat that simulates nature's own night forest. Nearby, an African forest has been recreated and populated with great apes. These residents of Lion Island are separated from other zoo animals and visitors by an unseen moat. The bison range is a recreation of a wild habitat. Birds of the same and of different feather are housed in the Aquatic Birds Building, one of the world's pioneer natural habitat exhibits. New concepts in presenting wildlife to help educate tomorrow's citizens to the need for sharing our Earth with our fellow creatures.
We'd like you to look at two special plants here in Romper Room. Plants that have been growing for a couple months. Do you have plants at your house? Well, do you know what plants need in order to grow?
Water.
Water. And what else? Soil. They need good soil. Well, today we have someone who works for the United States Soil Conservation Service. And his job is that of a soil conservationist. He is a scientist, and we'd like you to say good morning to Harvey Mack. Good morning. Welcome to Romper Room, Harvey.
Thank you.
Now, Harvey's here today to help us find out what a soil scientist really does. Now, you might have some ideas, but it's someone who works with soil. Soil's very important, and earlier I said that soil really does help us so much.
Yes, soil is very important in that everything, all the plants that we depend on to live grow in soil. In fact, most of the plants and animals depend on most animals depend on plants to live also. So all the food we eat also depend on plants.
Well, and our houses are built on soil,
Yes.
and so many things, recreational areas.
The roads that we travel on, the bridges that we travel across are built from concrete and steel, and the soil, the sand and the concrete comes from the soil. So soil is very important.
Well, it's an important job for someone to be a soil scientist and then to study the soil for us.
Yes, it is. Now, most of you may wonder how we go about making soil. Well, we do not make soil as such. Soil is made in a natural process, the breaking down of rock. And I have a couple of samples of rocks here. And maybe two of you would like to make some soil. And I will
Jason,
show you
would you
how.
like to? All right, why don't you come up here? And you want Jason to help you make
Yes,
soil?
I want you to help me make
Can
some
you come
soil.
stand
Just
over
walk
here?
right around here. It's very easy. It's the breaking down of rock. So if you take the two rocks and rub them together, take them up, both in your hand, and just rub them together. Rub them hard. Just rub them. We'll show you how to make some soil. See, it's very simple. Okay, now,
All right, well, let's look at what.
see what you've made? The natural process of forming soil is the breakdown of rock. Now, soils have different names just as people do because they have different parent materials. And here we have another type of soil here. And I will show you how the same process is done here. Heat, water, freezing, thawing, everything goes on to help the natural process of rock break down. Now, soil also has different structures. And the structure of the soil depends on the amount of sands, silts, and clays that we find in them. And sand is very porous, and it's rough when you feel it. Would you like to touch some sand?
Here we have a whole plate of sand, don't we?
And,
Well, I think many of you have touched sand, haven't you? At the beach?
and if you pour water in sand, it goes right down. Here I'm using red water, so that everyone at home can understand and see how the red water soaks right into the soil, into the sand. And if you take up the sand, nothing really happens. You can't mold anything with it. However, we do have another soil sample, and this is called a silt.
A silt?
A silt.
Let's say that. Silt.
Silt.
All right, where do you find silt? We know
Well-
we find sand on a beach. Where do we find silt?
Right. We will find silt in areas where we have a very hard rock breaking down to form it's a wearing, a very talca type rock that wears down, and it forms in a very small particles.
All right. Can you give us an idea of an area that's near our area?
Okay, an area near here is Rockland County.
In Rockland County, we find a lot of silt.
You find a lot of silt in Rockland County. The third sample that we have is clay. And clay is a very tight soil. The particles are very small, and the water will just stand on the clay particles because they are so close together. You can do a lot of wonderful things with clay. If you wet the clay, you find that it will break down.
This is just a big piece of clay that
Just
you
a
have
large
here
lump
that
of
came
clay.
from the ground.
But if clay is so small that if you looked at it, one individual particle, you could not see it. You have to have a very strong magnifying glass in order to see your clay. And you can do a lot of wonderful things with clay.
Where would we find clay in this
You may
area?
also find clay in Rockland County. You may also find it in Nassau County. There are several areas in Nassau County that has clays, and also the areas in Nassau County that we may find silts. But once you get the clay mold, then you can do a lot of wonderful things. You can even make things with it.
Well,
Like
how
that.
many of you have ever played with clay before? Sure, you build things out of clay.
And you can
And
use
it really
for-
holds together, doesn't it? What about, have you ever built something out of sand? What happens when you build something out of sand, Jason?
You can make a sandcastle.
You can, but will it stay together for a long time?
No.
Now, it is very important that we know the structure of the soil that we have, because if we do not know the structure and we leave it bare, say the clays and the silts, once they get dry, they will blow away.
All right, so what you mean structure is whether it's got very big particles like the sand or,
Right.
or almost medium size like the silt, or really fine particles.
Like the
Oh, this is
like
so
the
soft
clays.
to touch.
It's almost like powder. And when it's dry and you get windstorm, it will blow away. However, it does not let water filtrate down through it very easily. The water will not flow down very easy because of the particle sizes. And as we note, the soil scientist himself has to know about these particle sizes. He has to know about the parent materials. Now, in order to find out about what's underground, he may go out onto a field. But before he goes out onto the field, he has to do one thing. And what he does is he gets someone in an airplane to take a photograph for him. And before he goes onto the field, he locates his lakes, his roads, some large buildings, and other important landmarks. And then he takes this map onto the field, along with his knowledge. And he goes out to the field, and he takes what we call a soil auger, and he bores some holes into the ground. He takes up the soil sample, and he studies it. And as he studies it, he makes notes. And he keeps very good records, because he has to have records in order to get a very good soil book. And if he gets into another area where there are a lot of rocks, Then he has to use what he calls a shovel. Very good. And then he can study in detail what he has on the shovel.
So he takes the whole sample right there on the shovel.
Right on the shovel. And he studies it. Yes, he also digs. But he can study it. And then he make notes. And from the notes, he goes, still he's in the field, and he began to draw lines on his maps.
Can you see these dark lines? All right, and each, well, it's almost like long circles. They have numbers inside. What do those numbers mean?
See, each one of the numbers in the soil represent the soil type that is there. And usually, the soil is named based on the parent material. And also, a local name is given to the soil where it was first located.
Okay, so we would know from these numbers if the soil was particularly sandy or had a lot of clay in it,
right,
or silt.
Or silt, that's true. And the name is also very important in that, take like, for an example, a sodas. Now, soda soil was first found in Sodas, the town of Sodas. So that is why it has that name. We usually try and give the soil a local name. Now, from that information, from the soil's map, the soil samples, then we come up with the soil book. And
this is really a report of all his studies.
A report. And from this, these are his notes.
Look at all the notes he makes about the soil. And there's more than that in here. Charts.
Yeah. And then we have what we call a general soil map of the entire area. But this is not near as much detail as the other map. Now, the reason for this is that we locate soil associations, and that is that we can associate all the soils in the same family. Like all of you have families. And when all of you get together, it's one big family. And then we go and we have the individual soils on individual maps. Like each of you have an individual family at home, your mother, your father. All of these would be your family. So this is called the family of maps for the soil survey.
Okay, so once a soil scientist gets all this information down on the map, how does that help us?
Okay, the way the soil survey helps an individual is that one will know how deep it is to bedrock. If he wanted to put a garden in and bedrock was 2 inches below the surface, he could not plant a garden. If he wanted to build a house and the water table was very close to the surface and you put a basement in your house, you would have a wet basement. And no one wants to sail a boat in the basement every time it rains. So therefore, you would like to get a very well-drained soil.
Right, so that's why the soil scientist is so important for more than just growing crops on farms. He's important to all of us.
And it is also important to the farmer in that he will know what practices to put on his cropland to keep his soil from blowing away, because we all have to have food in order to live. And all the food that we eat basically comes from the soil.
Well, thank you so much for visiting us today. We also thank everyone at the U.S. Soil Conservation Service, and we hope that you'll think about soil and how the soil scientist really helps us. In fact, a little bit later today, we're going to look at some plants that our friends have brought in, and we'll think about the importance of soil. Thank you very much. Harvey Mack, a soil conservationist from the U.S. Soil Conservation Service. Okay, time for us to play another game, and we're going to get our hockey sticks out. We'd like you to play hockey with us this morning. Now, if you don't have a hockey stick, you can also use a mop, like our Gallup mops. And then instead of a hockey puck, we use our bean bags here in Romper Room. Please pick up a bean bag, and then please come out here onto the floor. Now, the first thing we need to do is just put the bean bag down in front of you. But before you start hitting the bean bag, make sure that you have a good hockey grip on your stick. All right, the first thing you want to do is take your right hand. Do you know your right hand? Good. Take your right hand and shake hands with your stick. Just your right hand. The left hand should be out here. All right, shake hands with that stick. So your thumb is on top. Is your thumb on top? Now take your left hand and put it above your right hand. And make above, Christina, put it right above the right hand, and make sure that your thumb is also on top. All Right, now you've got your good hockey grip. Right, your thumb goes right here on top. Good. All right, now we're ready, and please keep the sticks down on the floor. Keep your mop part right there on the floor, and push that beanbag along. Make sure you watch your beanbag as you're hitting it. All right, keep hitting that. Come on, move it along. And then, would you move your beanbags and your hockey sticks right over here? And let's put the beanbags right there, and let's say good morning to Paddington Bear. Can you say hello to Paddington? Oh, do you know what? This morning, Paddington is in hot water. Do you know what that means? Well, let's find out. Would you please open your eyes and open your ears, and here we go.
When Paddington arrived at number 32 Windsor Gardens, the first person he met was the Browns' housekeeper, Mrs. Bird. "Good afternoon," he said. "I'm from darkest Peru, and I've come to stay." "Peru!" exclaimed Mrs. Bird. "Good gracious, whatever next?" "Don't worry," called Judy. "He's going to have a bath. Hold on, Paddington, I'm just coming." "Did you say you're from Peru?" called Mrs. Bird. "Darkest Peru," said Paddington. "In that case, I'd best be getting some more marmalade in." "Fancy knowing I like marmalade," exclaimed Paddington. "Mrs. Bird knows everything about everything," said Judy. "She sounds just like Aunt Lucy," said Paddington. The next person Paddington met was Judy's brother Jonathan. And while Jonathan put some bubble mixture into the bath, Paddington listened carefully to his instructions. "There's some soap," said Judy, "and a towel, and a brush so that you can scrub your back." Paddington felt he would sooner just sit in a puddle, but he didn't like to say so. "It sounds very complicated," he announced. "Well," said Judy, "don't forget to wash your ears. They look very black." "Black?" said Paddington hotly. "Black? They're meant to be black. At least, I think they are." For a moment or two, he toyed with the idea of whitening his ears with a toothpaste, but he soon gave that up. There were other, much more interesting things to do. "What was that?" exclaimed Mr. Brown. "Perhaps it was Mrs. Bird," said Judy. "Bang went our tea by the sound of it." Unaware of the alarm he was causing, Paddington busied himself making a foam map of South America. Some of the mountains were very high indeed, and he was about to mark in darkest Peru when he suddenly remembered the bath. "What is going on?" exclaimed Mr. Brown. "Don't tell me Mrs. Bird's fallen in the washing-up water now." That's funny, said Jonathan. Talking of water. Gosh, cried Judy. Look. Paddington is in trouble. To say that Paddington was in trouble was to put it mildly. He tried calling out, help, fairly quietly, so as not to disturb anyone, and then much louder. Help! Help! Paddington, said Judy, you've still got your duffel coat on. I didn't want to get too wet, gasped Paddington. Only I think I have done after all. Help! Why ever didn't you pull the plug out? Exclaimed Jonathan. Pull the plug out? Repeated Paddington. Nobody said anything about that. I shall never, ever have a bath again, he said firmly. It's much too complicated. But before he went to bed that night, Paddington did have one more go. It's what's known as a dry bath, he announced. It's safer than using water, and it's much less messy.
You enjoyed that adventure. Say, do you know what Paddington likes to see more than anything else in the world? He likes to see your pictures of him. Could you draw a picture of Paddington and send it in? Well, maybe a picture of him waving at you? Well, here's our address so you know where to send all of your pictures of Paddington. It's Romper Room, WORTV, New York, New York, 10018. Oh, and Paddington wants me to remind you that he wants you to print your name on your picture so that he knows who's drawn it. So send him a picture, but right now say goodbye, and we'll be back in just a minute with some items that our friends here have brought in to tell you about.
Romper Room will be back after these messages. Hocus Pocus, the amazing shrinking rabbit trick. How'd you do that? It's in my Cookie Crisp Magic Kit.
Kit includes Magic Tricks Cookie Jarvis record and autographed picture. Free when you send in 2 proof of purchase seals from specially marked packages.
It's Cookie Jarvis.
Cookies for breakfast is wrong. I'm sorry. But Cookie Crisp cereal is another story.
They look like little chocolate chip cookies.
They taste like them, too. But Cookie Crisp is a cereal, a part of this nutritious breakfast.
Was der Beinisdauer.
Check out the action at the library. You might just get carried away.
Each of our friends here has brought in something that they'd like to tell you about today and also show you. And first we're going to begin with Christina's, and she has a plant growing in soil. Look carefully. I wonder if you can identify what kind of plant it is. Well, Christina drew a picture that might help remind you or let you know. Do you know what's on this picture?
A strawberry.
A strawberry, and that's a kind of plant. Did you plant strawberry seeds in that cup, Christina? And what do you do for that plant to help it grow?
Put water and sun in it.
All right, it also needs the sun and also that good soil. Well, we wish you good luck with your strawberry crop. Somebody else has been very busy. Jason's been making things. Can we show our friends 2 things that you've made? And can you explain to our friends at home how you made these?
Well, we get some sprinkles and then put it in the oven.
All right, these are very special beads, aren't they? Now, you said put it in the oven. Do you put them in the oven yourself? Who does that?
My mom.
All right. Why do you recommend a grown-up do it instead of you?
If my teacher does put this I sprinkled thin and then it do it.
Right, because ovens can be hot and dangerous, but these look like they're fun to make with sprinkles. Maybe you've made something like that. We have someone who looks like she was busy out on a beach collecting things. Geraldine, can you tell our friends about these items?
The waves, making different shapes and different colors.
And also, what do we find on the beach and also the bottom of the ocean?
Shells.
What are the shells on top of, though?
Sand.
Sand, exactly. And sometimes that sand is so coarse that it makes the shell smooth, doesn't it? Like sandpaper. Let's visit with Michael. He's brought in something, and he'd like to perform a little experiment for you. All right, first, this big yellow, well, almost looks like a horseshoe, doesn't it? But it's a secret kind of horseshoe, isn't it? Can you show our friends what it will do?
And picks up magnet things.
Right, will it pick up that? Yes. Right, do you know why that horseshoe picked up those 3 items?
Because it's a magnet.
A magnet, and each one of these items has metal on it. The clothespin is made out of wood, but it has a metal clasp and the keys and also the can opener. Well, if you have a magnet, experiment with things at your house. Tina brought in a picture that she'd like to share with you. Can you describe this for our friends at home? It's a painting.
This is the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the cloud we saw behind me.
The cloud?
Yeah.
It looks like it might be a storm cloud. Is it dark? A storm is coming up? I see big orange spots. What do they represent?
They're pebbles.
Big pebbles coming through the air? I wonder how they got there. But meanwhile, it looks like a blue sky until that storm moves in. Do you like to paint things? Maybe you can send us a painting. Finally, we're going to end up with Jason and one more plant. And Jason, can you tell us where you got this plant?
At my school. I bought it in a plant sale.
Right. And now, it's your responsibility. You have to take care of it, don't you?
Yeah.
And what do you have to do for it?
Give it sun and water.
All right, and it already has that good soil, doesn't it? But you might want to plant this outside.
It goes outside.
Are you going to put it outside? And you'll have to find some good soil outside for it, won't you?
Yeah.
Well, some plants can be kept inside, but this might be fun to put outside.
Twigs and rocks.
Well, twigs and rocks wouldn't be too good for it, but good soil would. Siri, let's play another game. Do you have a ball with holes in it? And also sticks. We'd like you to get it out so you can play this next game with us. And I'm going to give Jason this and a ball. Now, Jason, would you please be Geraldine's partner? And let's see, Tina, here's a stick and a ball. And would you be Michael's partner? And Christina, here's a stick and a ball. And would you please be Jason's partner? All right, what we'd like you to do is throw back and forth to your partner. All right, Tina and Michael, can you throw it back and forth? And remember, you use the stick to catch it. Now, make a fist. Oh, you have to keep that stick pointing up. Now, toss it right over here to Michael. Good. All right, Jason, catch that ball. Oh, come on, take a step up, catch that ball. Now remember, if you don't have a partner at your house, toss up in the air and catch yourself. Right, and if you don't have a stick with a ball with holes, just get a regular bouncing ball out and toss that up in the air and catch that. All right, but do remember, whenever we're playing with sticks, we have to be very careful. right, one more toss for everyone. And then please bring your sticks and ball over here. We're going to invite our visitors in to play one last game with us, and we'd like you to get ready to play that jumping game next.
Romper Room will be back after these messages.
Say, kids, you want me to show you a really terrific trick? You see this piggy bank? I'll prove that it's empty. Now I'm going to put a nickel into it. Next, my lovely assistant will cover it with this cloth. If I do this every few days when I have some coins left over, look what happens at the end of the year.
It's fun to spend money, but it's fun to save, too. That's the real trick.
A Genie consumer tip from your Better Business Bureau.
We've just put some blocks out on the floor, and we'd like our friends here to jump over them. We hope you have something you can jump over at your house. All right, Geraldine, begin. All right, remember, we don't want you to touch the blocks. Good. And now Jason. All right, and our other Jason. And now Tina. And Michael. Come on, Michael. And Christina. All right, please move the line up. Get ready to take your turn. Come right up here. Good. Come on, get a shoebox out at your house, jump over it. All right, try to keep your feet together when you jump up in the air. Very good, then please go to the end of the line after you've had your turn. Excuse me, go to the end of the line. Good. Do try to keep your feet together when you jump up. Very good. You might want to keep your hands out of your pockets. That might help you with your balance if you keep them out to your side. Keep your hands out here, arms out here, and let them help you balance as you jump up and over. Good. Very good. And next. To try hopping on one foot. Or if you prefer, then jump on 2 feet. All right. Tina. And Michael. All right, Christina. Come on, Christina. All right, again. Morning. And do remember to keep your feet together as you jump up and over. Geraldine, come on, Jason. And Jason. And Tina. And Michael. And Christina. And now, would you please sit down over on the carpet? Would you please sit down at your house? I'd like to remind you that tomorrow we're going to read a special story. We're also going to play with our beanbags and our tires, and we hope you join us for that. Romper, Romper, boo, tell me, do, magic mirror, tell me today. Did all my friends have fun at play? I see Michael, John, and Sean Douglas, Carmen, Vera Lee. I see John Boy and Bobby. I see Armin, and hi, Thomas and Maria. There's Herbert and Robert. And there's Nikki and Jamesy and Dougie. I see Carl, Maurice, David, and Bruce, and Scotty, and Stevie, and Johnny, and of course I see you. And I'll be looking for you tomorrow morning right here in the Romper Room School at 10 o'clock. Have a good day.
Continuous NHL action tonight at 7:30, live from the Spectrum. The New York Islanders in game number 2 against the Philadelphia Flyers for the Stanley Cup. See all the Stanley Cup finals here on WOR-TV, New York's Channel 9. Television as you like it.
Says it's time for Romper Room, and do you know what day it is today? Well, we're going to find out by playing our weekday game, and we'd like you to sing all the words with us. First, put 7 fingers up, and then help us say, Mr. Music, please. Every week has 7 days. Each day has a name you know. We can learn them if we try. Get ready, set, let's go. Come on, say all the days with us. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, come on, louder. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Now, we just said the name of today. Which day is it? Do you think it's Sunday? Do you think it's Michael's Day Sunday?
No.
Or do you think it's Tina's Day Monday?
No.
Or do you think it's Christina's Day? What does Christina's Day say?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Do you think today's Tuesday, Michael? Do you think it is at your house? Well, what about Jason's Day?
Yeah.
Do you think it's Wednesday? Or do you think it's Geraldine's Day? What does her day say?
Yeah.
What does this say, Christina?
Thursday.
Tina. Thursday. Do you think today's Thursday? Or do you think it's our Punchum's Day? Do you think it's Friday? Or do you think it's the day I'm holding?
No.
Which day is it? Well, I'll give you a clue. Today's day begins with a T. Do you see a day whose name begins with T?
Hi.
Oh, there are 2. All right, let's have both of them step forward. All right. Oh, just the people who have T days. All right, Christina's day begins with a T, and so does Geraldine's. But which day is the name of today? Do you think it's Tuesday or is it Thursday?
Mine.
It is Thursday, exactly right. And we're glad to see you in school with us on this Thursday. Let's take our signs off and let's say the pledge together this morning. Now, would you please stand up at your house? Would you please put your right hand on your heart? And Jason's going to be our flag bearer for us. Please come over. And remember, you're the flag bearer for all of our friends at home. So we want you to hold the flag up here so they can see it. You can see it at your house, right? And then please get your right hands up. Very good. Christina, can you come and stand over here? All right, very good. Jason, I think we're ready. Would you please lead all of us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. And let's put our flag away and let's get our big inner tube out this morning. Do you have an inner tube that you can play with at your house? Well, if you had an inner tube this big, what would you do with it? What do you think you could do with it?
Go through it.
Oh, you could go through it. Let's see each of our friends go through it. Oh, it's a big tunnel, isn't it? You can go in almost standing up. Come on, Tina, take a turn. Now, what else could you do besides go in it?
Jump, you put it down, and then you jump.
All right, you could jump in it. All right. Jump in and then jump out. Christina. And now Tina. Tina hasn't had a turn jumping. All right, now what else could you do with it? Michael.
You can walk in it.
Could you walk around the top of it? All right, well, you could step in and out, sure.
No, I don't.
Or you could walk around it. All right, oh, Christina, let's give Jason and Tina a turn now. All right, Tina, it's your turn. Excuse me, Geraldine. Let's give Michael a turn at walking up on it.
I'm a good walker.
You sure are. If you don't have an inner tube like this, you can just walk around a circle at your house. Now, excuse me, can you think of something else that you could do with this inner tube? What else? Christina? Crawl under it. Show us what you mean. Crawling through. Let's see if you can pick it up and actually crawl through like that. Geraldine? All right, Michael, please wait until Geraldine gets finished. All right, remember, take turns at your house. All right, Michael, next. Lift it up, crawl under the other side. Can you go under that side too? Good. And now Jason, take a turn. Whoops, let's get it down for Jason. Crawl under it. And Jason, can you crawl under this side too? All right, Tina, would you take a turn? Let's see if you can crawl under it. Yes, let's move it back on our mat. Crawl under one side and all the way under. Oh, Tina, can you get back in here and try to crawl right under this side so that you're crawling completely under it. All right, now lift up the other side and crawl under. Oops. Good. Oh, this is heavy, isn't it? Say, how would you like to visit with some animals that love to crawl? And do you know where they love to crawl? They love to crawl right up a tree trunk. Can you guess which animals? Well, we'll find out in our magic window right after this.
Romper Room will be back after these messages.
Did you know that taking care of your teeth is very much like being a train engineer? Sure. Just like the engineer who always has to be on time, you have to brush regularly and have dental checkups on schedule. Oh, and ask Mom to show you how to get the sticky film of plaque off your teeth. The engineer has to guide his trains safely through many dangers. You must keep your teeth safe from too much between-meal sweets that trigger tooth decay. The engineer takes full responsibility for his train, just as you have a non-stop responsibility for staying on the track to good dental health. A railroading tip from this station and the American Dental Association.
To go on trips to the woods, to look for animals down on the ground or animals up in the tree. Well, today we're going to look for two different types of animals. They're both members of the rodent family. One is a squirrel, the other a chipmunk. Are you ready to go? Well, please open your eyes and open your ears, and here we go. Many squirrels live in trees. love to eat things that come from trees. Do you know what those are? Acorns, exactly. Do you see the little chipmunk? The chipmunk, you can tell because of the stripes on the back. Do you see the black and white stripes? Did you know that both squirrels and chipmunks have pouches for storing food? The pouches are right in their cheeks. Squirrels and chipmunks are very small animals, and they have to be very aware of their natural enemies. So they're always on the lookout. During the coldest part of the winter, the chipmunks actually sleep, hibernate, but the red squirrel stays awake year-round. Very, very busy. Baby squirrels and chipmunks are usually born during the spring, and they learn to climb trees at a very, very early age. Oh, maybe this squirrel is eating that nut. Maybe he's going to store it right there in the pouch, right in his cheek. Like the squirrels and chipmunks are getting a lot of exercise, doesn't it? Oh, we hope you enjoyed that visit to the woods. How would you like to get some exercise right now with us? Well, you can, and all you need is a ball you can use for bouncing and catching. That's what we're going to play next. Now, we're getting our big bouncing balls out. Here's one for Geraldine. Jason, here's one, and Michael. Come on, Tina. Here's a big one, and one for Christina. Now, before we start bouncing, could you please spread out in a big, big circle here? And then, would you spread your feet apart so you have bouncing room? All right, Geraldine, why don't you come over here? And Jason, I think you need to back up a little bit. Oh, which way is backwards? This way. All right, very good. All right, now let's just let the ball drop and then pick it up. Right, make sure you watch your ball. All right, look at only your ball. Look at it fall, hit the ground, and bounce back up so you know where to put your hands. Standing out in the center of your room. And remember, you don't need to give the ball a very big push. Just almost let it fall. Exactly, Geraldine. Very good. All right, Jason, why don't you come right over here? Now, remember, first you have to spread those feet apart, Jason. Come on, farther apart. All right, just let the ball drop, then reach down to pick it up. And do remember to keep those feet apart. Farther, farther. Very good. All right, and you try to let that ball bounce right up to you. You probably don't have to bend over too far to catch it. bouncing the ball. That's exactly what I was going to suggest. Let's try dribbling the ball. All right, keep it bouncing. All right, you can try to keep it bouncing in front of you. And then you might try walking and bouncing the ball at the same time. All right, Tina, you really have to watch out for your feet. Keep your feet out of the way of that ball. Oh, I think we could use some more practice. How about you at your house? All right, try bouncing and try walking this time. You might want to use 2 hands. Push it with 2 hands as you walk along. Good, Christina. Michael just said we could kick the ball. What game do we play kickball? Soccer, right. But right now we're bouncing. We're practicing for basketball. So, go on. All right, you could try tossing and catching, or you can bounce and catch, walk and bounce. Whichever way is your favorite way. Why don't you do that right now? Maybe you just want to stand in one place and bounce the ball. Or maybe stand in one place and toss. Or maybe you'd like to walk and toss the ball at the same time. Or walk and bounce the ball at the same time. Let's put our balls away. Would you please put your ball away at your house? And then would you get ready to look at something that's much smaller than our balls? In fact, it's tiny. Could you please come and sit over on this side of our cushion? And would you please sit down at your house? All right. This will be your side of the cushion that you're sitting on at your house. Now, I have something I'm going to put in my hand and show you.
It's a penny. Penny.
All right, it is a penny. Have you ever looked closely at a penny? What does a penny have on it?
A man.
All right, a picture of a man. Anything else?
No.
Oh.
A building on the other side.
All right, there's a building on the other side, but do you see any letters or numbers?
Yeah, right here. There's numbers.
They're hard to read, though, aren't they?
I can see
because they're so small, aren't they?
It was 1980.
Oh.
That's when I was born.
Well, it has a 1 and a 9 and an 8, but not a 0. But it is hard to read these. Now, before we do this experiment, all right, I'm going to ask Michael if he'll come and sit over here because we want our friends at home to be able to see on this side. We're going to make something this morning. We'll show you how you can make it at your house. And it is going to help us look at this penny. And it's going to help us read that penny. Now, have you ever heard the word magnifying? Have you ever used a magnifying glass?
Yeah.
What does a magnifying glass do?
Makes it bigger.
It makes something bigger. Well, do you know there are many, many scientists that use magnifying instruments. Doctors use it to study diseases or to look at parts of our blood. So many different scientists use it. Well, you could be a scientist at your house and you can look at something through a magnifying cup that we'll show you how to make. thing you need to do is get a paper cup. All right, ask a grown-up at your house for the paper cup. Then take your scissors and you're going to cut a small hole in the bottom. All right, don't cut the bottom of the cup, but just along the side, cut one hole, and then over on the other side, cut another hole. All right, you need these holes. This bottom of the cup, the inside, is going to be our magnifying surface. And you need those holes so you can put something into the cup to be magnified. Now, let me show you what else you have to do in order to make this magnifying cup. We're going to take a piece of plastic. We're going to place that over the top of the cup. Then we're going to take a rubber band and place that around the edge. Now carefully, I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to push down on the plastic. So there's a big indentation in there. Excuse me. Could you please? Thank you very much. All right, do you see this big indentation at your house? All right. And push down very carefully, but don't break the plastic because that plastic needs to hold water. All right, I have water in this cup. And very carefully, I'm going to pour the water in the cup. All right, almost up to the edge. All right, now, let's look at this penny once again next to the cup. Do you see the penny at your house?
Yeah.
Here, I'll move it in so you can see it at your house. Do you see it right here?
Yeah.
Oh, I want everyone at home to be able to see this penny right here. Right now, it is difficult to read the numbers, isn't it? It's difficult to see too much on it. But let's put it inside the cup, right down on the bottom, on our magnifying surface. And right now, first, let our friends here look. All right, can you stand up and look down through? All right, but be very careful. Does the penny look much larger? You can read the letters, can't you? All right, now could you sit down? Let's let our friends at home look.
I saw a big one.
Right, it looks much larger. All right, Christina, can you move out of the way? Let's let Geraldine stand up above and look down into the cup. Did you see it? All right, Michael, did you see it? All right, now, could you please sit down? Let's give our friends at home a turn to look. Now, we're going to bring our camera in very close so that it can come down so that you can pretend you're standing here looking up. All right, or maybe I'll move this closer to the camera. Oh, I don't think our friends at home can see the penny, can they? No?
No.
Well, I'm sorry our friends at home can't see it, but maybe you can describe to our friends at home, how much larger does that penny look?
Larger.
Can you say, recognize some of the letters and the numbers on it now? You can read them much easier, can't you? Oops. Be very, very careful. Now, remember when you're performing this experiment at your house, to be very careful.
Is the penny really in there?
The penny is. In fact, let's take this water out of the top. All right, once again, let me move this to the middle. And now, do you see how much smaller that penny looks without the water?
Yeah.
It looks its normal size, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, do you know what the water actually does in this cone shape here? All right. The water acts as a magnifying lens. And it makes that penny look much bigger. Well, what else could you put in the bottom of the cup? So, think of some things that are very small that you might want to look at. What?
A dime. A little ball.
All right, a little ball or a little shell or what else?
A dime.
All right, another type of coin, a dime. What else?
Teeny tiny hard ball.
All right, a tiny little ball or maybe an insect. Would make an insect look much larger, wouldn't it? A bug.
Like Doobie.
All right. An ant. There's so many things that you could put in the bottom of your magnifying cup. Make them look much larger. You can be a scientist that way and look at things and observe them. Well, just remember, you start off with your cup, you cut the sides, you put your plastic with the rubber band, and then carefully you push down on the plastic, and then you pour the water in, and then have fun putting your objects in and looking at them. Well, we're going to look at some very pretty pictures up there on our board, and that's coming up right after this.
Romper Room will be back after these messages. Tommy's my best friend. He swings higher than anyone. We used to play every day till he got the measles. Now he's too sick. My mother said that he might never get all better, but he just has to.
Childhood diseases don't have to happen. The right shots can protect your child for life, and they're absolutely free. Act now before it's too late. Call the Red Cross at 212-787-5001.
Here's a junior consumer tip from your Better Business Bureau.
You know, Albert, I gotta hand it to you chipmunks. You know how to save. You put away all those acorns and walnuts just in case you need them. But if I have an extra dime or nickel, it always seems to get spent right away. Why, thanks, Calvin. Where do you keep all your acorns and walnuts anyway? Right up in my good old attic. Right down in my good old basement. Oh, it's good to save, but make sure you save in a safe place.
You to look at some pictures that many of you have sent in to us recently. First of all, a picture from Debbie, a person with a big smile. And next, a picture of a person from Julie. Julie's 4 years old. One from Matthew. He's 4 years old. What does it look like this person is doing? Or listening to something? Maybe listening to an earpiece on a telephone. And look at this rainy day from Christine. Susie sent us a picture of an animal that visited Romper Room not too long ago. A turtle. All right, a special kind of turtle called a bog turtle. And a picture of an animal that lives in water from Allison, an octopus. Kristen drew a picture of a big lion.
Somebody on it.
Oh, that might be somebody riding the back of a lion. Could you imagine that? Lisa sent us pictures of things she likes to eat. A big apple, a banana, an orange, and grapes. And we know that oranges grow on orange trees. Picture from Rachel. Another orange tree from Michael. And a big orange tree, tall one from Jennifer. We have a picture of a carrot and also an apple, things that are good to eat, and something that really helps your teeth. A toothbrush. It's important to use a toothbrush every day. Have you brushed your teeth yet today?
I did.
Well, you should after every meal. Here's someone who often gets into trouble. Paddington Bear. Oh, we hope you enjoy his adventures here in Romper Room. Serena and Damon sent us this picture of Doobie. And Jose sent this picture into Romper Room. Jose's 4.5. Jessie has an outside picture with Doobie flying up in the air, and look who she has down here in the grass. Do you think that's Wiggly Will? Here's Gail's outdoor picture of Doobie. And finally, Lizette sent us this picture of the magic mirror. We'd like to thank all of you for the... She's 5 years old, that's absolutely right. We'd like to thank all of you for the mail that you send in. We certainly enjoy looking at your pictures, putting some of them up here on the picture board, but all of your pictures go into our special scrapbooks for the boys and girls in the hospital. And we hope that you'll send one in soon so that we can include it in one of our scrapbooks. Now, here's our address so you know where to send all of your mail. It's Romper Room, WOR-TV, New York, New York, 10018. And we'll look forward to seeing your pictures soon. Who has a favorite exercise? Do you have a favorite exercise at your house? Maybe you said jumping jacks or push-ups or sit-ups. Well, Michael, could you take the center of our mat and show us your favorite exercise? Oh, looks like Michael likes push-ups. Come on, let's all push up with Michael. Come on, get down and use those arms. Really push up. Oh, God, really good, strong push-ups. Okay, who's got another idea? All right, Geraldine, would you please trade places with Michael? Let's see what your favorite exercise is. Jumping jacks, come on. Jumping straight up. And who's got another? All right, Tina. Cartwheel. Can you do a cartwheel? Who would like to do a cartwheel now? All right, Geraldine. All right, I think we'll have to do this one at a time. Do you want to take another try? One more try. Come on, take a try with Geraldine at your house. Good. Who wants to take a try now? All right, Michael. All right, a big cartwheel, Michael. Good try. And now Jason. Well, that wasn't quite a cartwheel. What was that? Somersault. But let's see if Christina can do the cartwheel first. Then maybe we can all try somersaults. Very good. Who would like to try that somersault? All right, Geraldine. Now make sure when you do the somersault that you tuck your head all the way under. The back of your head should be down on the floor. Whoops. All right, Christina, do you want to go next? All right, do make sure that you put the back, not the top. Does she have the top or the back? All right, what you need to do is tuck that head way under. Oh, good. And now Christina, or Tina. All right, spread your feet apart. Good. And who's next? Let's see, you did your somersault, Jason, but Michael, I don't think you did. Would you like to? Oh, did he? Jason, did you do yours? All right, let's let Jason take a turn with the somersault. Spread your feet apart. Hands down. And tuck that head way under. Oh, is he ready? Good. Very good. Well, let's see. One more good exercise this morning. Can you think of one at your house? Michael. All right. Hands down. And then jump up with your legs in the back. All right. Geraldine's shoe just came off. How are you doing at your house? Say, a little earlier, we looked at one coin. Do you remember the name of the coin we looked at?
A penny.
A penny. Well, in just a minute, we're going to look at pennies, but we're going to look also at dimes and nickels and quarters and also some transit tokens here in Romper Room. And we're going to try to match them. And we'd like you to play that matching game with us.
Romper Room will be back after these messages.
You can make lots and lots of bubbles with the amazing Spider-Man Bubble Machine or the Incredible Hulk Bubble Machine, each sold separately. Fill the bubble machine with included bubble liquid. Dip the bubble ring into the liquid and blow on the tube.
Red bubbles, green bubbles, Hulk bubbles, Spider-Man bubbles.
The Amazing Spider-Man and Incredible Hulk bubble machines are each sold separately. New from Laramie.
Hocus Pocus, the amazing shrinking rabbit trick. How'd you do that? It's in my Cookie Crisp Magic Kit.
Kit includes Magic Tricks Cookie Jarvis record and autographed picture. Free when you send in 2 proof of purchase seals from specially marked packages.
It's Cookie Jarvis.
Cookies for breakfast is wrong. I'm sorry. But Cookie Crisp cereal is another story.
They look like little chocolate chip cookies.
They taste like them, too. But Cookie Crisp is a cereal, a part of this nutritious breakfast.
Here we have different coins. First, let's try to identify the coins that you see here. Can you find a penny or pennies? All right, what else do you see here? What's the name of that coin?
A dime.
Dime. What's this one?
A quarter.
Oh, look carefully at this one.
A nickel.
A nickel, good. What about this one over here?
Dime. Nickel.
We said this was a dime, we said this was the nickel, we said this was the penny, that is a...
Coin.
What's the name of that coin? Tina?
Quarter.
A quarter, good. Now we have 2 other coins that you may have seen here in New York City, especially if you've ridden on the subway, or you can use these on buses as well. They're tokens. Right here we have the standard token with what shape in the center? Can you tell?
A Y.
All right, a Y. Exactly. Now we have a special token, a new token, that has a shape cut out. Can you see the cutout shape in this one?
Square.
Look very carefully. On that angle, it's a diamond. All right? Like 2 triangles put together. Let's say the name of that shape. Diamond.
Diamond.
And it's a diamond for the Diamond Jubilee of our subway system. Either one of these tokens can be used for a ride on the subway. And we use these other coins for things. I wonder if you could find matching coins here. Let's give everyone a turn. All right, Michael, may I remind you that it's very dangerous to be up on your knees on top of these cushions, so please sit with your feet on the floor. All right, we're going to give everyone a turn here, and I'd like you to take a turn along with our friends. All right, first, I'm going to ask Christina to come up. Would you come up here, Christina? Could you match 2 coins? Find 2 coins that are exactly the same. And just move them right over here. Which 2 would you choose? Can you put them down and we can all look at them? Does she have 2 matching coins? And what are those coins? The Diamond Jubilee tokens. Very good. All right, Jason, would you come up next? Please pick 2 matching coins. Does he have a matching set?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. 2 of our regular tokens with what in the center? The Y cut out. All right, now it's Michael's turn. Which ones do you think Michael will choose? Does he have a matching set?
Yeah.
2. What are the names of those coins?
Diamond.
Quarters. Quarters. All right, now it's Geraldine's turn. What did she just choose?
Penny.
Oh, are those pennies?
No.
What did you say at your house?
Dimes.
Are they dimes?
No. Quarters.
We said these were quarters.
Nickel.
2 nickels. All right, finally, let's give Tina a turn. Which coins? Does she have a match set? A match set of dimes. All right, we have 2 coins left. Do you think they are match pair at your house?
Yeah.
Indeed they are. 2
pennies.
Pennies, exactly. Well, this is a game that you can play at your house. Just ask Mom or Dad before you take the coins, and then you can put them out and you can play matching games. And, you can also play matching games with the years on the coins. That's one reason you really need to know your numbers, so you can look for numbers on the coins. And, of course, in order to see some of the numbers, you might need to use your magnifying cup.
If you didn't know a number, you just have to look.
Well, you look at the numbers and read them, and you can match them as well. How would you like to step outside? Would you like to? Let's go right over here to the Romper Room door. Let's open it. Would you go outside with us? Oh, we're just going, it's a pretend trip out. Come on, open the door. And then let's go outside. And let's spread out. Oh, your sneaker is untied, and we're going to play a game. We don't want you to trip. Do you know how to tie your own sneaker?
I know how to tie. I don't.
Well, I hope you'll practice that. It's important to learn that, Michael, especially when you go to school. All right, now we're outside. Could you please take a big, deep breath? Do you like to breathe clean air? Well, we have a game in Romper Room about clean air, and I thought since Doc is going to come to talk to us tomorrow about clean air, that we might want to play this game so we're ready for Doc. Now, these are the words, and we'd like you to play along with us. I try to walk, all right, and you just walk all over. I try to walk instead of ride. I clean the yard when I go outside. I try to clean the whole world wide. I fight pollution. Do you think Doc would like that? Come on, let's make a big circle, and let's get ready to play that game. And would you please sing the words with us at your house? Let's drop our hands, get ready to walk, as we say, Mr. Music, please. I try to walk instead of ride. I clean the yard when I go outside. I try to clean the whole world wide. I fight pollution. Oh, let's say the name of that. What do we fight? Pollution. Oh, there's so many forms of pollution. Let's practice our song once more so we'll really have those things in our mind for Doc tomorrow morning. Are you ready? Now, everybody help with the words this time. Let's make it a big circle, then let's drop our hands, get ready to walk as we say, Mr. Music, please. I try to walk instead of ride. I clean the yard when I go outside. I try to clean the whole world wide. I fight pollution. Very good. What do you do at the end of a day? Especially if you've been busy fighting pollution.
Clean it.
What do you do at the...
Sleep.
Go to sleep. Would you like to play our sleepy game? Our sleepy time game? All right, let's come over. Now, at the end of the day, there's something up in the sky that sets. And we can't see it anymore. It's still up there, but we can't see it on our part of the earth. What is it?
Moon.
Well, the moon we can see at night many times. But what goes away? What gives us light during the day but goes away at night?
Stars.
Oh, well, can you see stars at night? Do you see stars? We see many, but there's one special star that goes away at night.
I know.
The sun, exactly. Could you make a big sun up in the sky? All right. When day is done, all right, and bring your sun down, and prayers are said, I love to snuggle in my bed. I say good night to all my toys. It's sleepy time for girls and boys. And then we go, shh, and we go to sleep. Are you ready to play that? Come on, get your sun back up in the sky. Mr. Music, please.